Hey everyone, Robert Ferringo of Doc Sports here with your 2026 World Cup Team Preview Series. Today we are looking at the United States. That's right, the Stars and Stripes, boys and girls. The U.S. men's national team, the Americans, the hosts of this tournament, currently ranked number 16 in the world. Our odds of winning Group D, we are grouped with Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey. Our odds of winning the group are plus 140. Our odds of winning the World Cup title, which would be obviously the United States first, plus 6,000. That's right. We are 60-1 underdogs, but that's just the way that we like it here in the United States. I will get to your full men's national team breakdown in a minute. First, I want to mention that if you are looking for winning soccer picks this summer, head over to Doc Sports and get yourself signed up with one of our World Cup packages. I have posted 4 straight winning World Cups, and I've shown a profit in 6 of my last 7 international soccer tournaments. I've been one of the best soccer handicappers in the country for over a decade. That includes going 45-16, that's 74%, on my last 61 soccer plays rated 7 units or above. I would love to have you on board for what should be a very fun, very exciting, and very profitable summer of soccer wagering. Okay, let's break down the U.S. men's national team 2026 World Cup roster and highlight some key players. For the men's national team, it starts with Christian Pulisic, right? He's the one. He's the dude. He's a 27-year-old left winger. He plays at Italian powerhouse AC Milan. He is featured in Champions League finals. He is the active leading scorer for the U.S. men's national team with 32 goals. That's currently 5th all time. He did score for us in 2022 in the Qatar World Cup. And if we're going to do anything this summer, he's got to be fantastic. He's gone through a bit of a goal-scoring drought with AC Milan. Did not have his best club season, but hopefully he's just been saving it all up for this summer. Joining him in the attack at the center midfield position is Weston McKennie. Okay, he plays at Juventus. He is set to play attacking midfield for us. But Juventus has actually been using him at striker a little bit this club season, and he's performed very, very well. And since that is a spot of weakness, that has always been a spot of weakness for the United States, it will be interesting to see if maybe the men's national team moves him up top. I don't think they're going to. I think that would be a little bit too bold of a maneuver, but there is no doubt that Weston McKennie is one of our best attacking players. Joining him in the midfield is Tyler Adams. He is more of a center defensive mid. He plays at Bournemouth in the Premier League. I had the privilege of watching him play at West Ham 2 years ago, which was a lot of fun, rooting on our American overseas. He is a fantastic leader, excellent defensive player, and he's another guy that'll be in the middle of the attack. Now, on the defensive end of the field, Anthony Robinson, he plays left back for Fulham. For my money, and some people may disagree with this, but for my money, after Christian Pulisic, I think Anthony Robinson is our second best player. He is an outstanding defender, but he also pushes up and gets into the attack. He is a very, very talented player. And again, if we're going to do anything, it's going to be because Robinson has a great World Cup. Chris Richardson is our center back and kind of the anchor of our defensive form. He plays at Crystal Palace, also over in the Premier League. One of the big sticking points, subplots, however you want to word it, for this World Cup is who's going to be between the pipes, who is going to be in goal. For the first time, as long as I can remember, frankly, and certainly in my adult life, the U.S. men's national team does not have a settled number 1 goalie. Our coach, Mauricio Pochettino, is going to have to decide between Matt Turner, who is playing at New England, or Matt Freese, who plays at New York City Football Club, both in the MLS. Now, Freese has started 13 of the last 14 U.S. men's national team matches. He was the goalie for the 2025 Gold Cup, where he also was in goal when we won a penalty shootout against Costa Rica. But Turner was the goalie at the 2022 World Cup. He has more experience, and he's having a great season for New England. So that is going to be a key subplot to watch, is who Pochettino chooses to be in goal. All right, next let's look at the tactics of the 2026 2026 U.S. men's national team at the World Cup. As I mentioned, Pochettino, he's Argentinian. He is our manager. We are going to employ a 3-4-2-1. Okay, so we have 3 dedicated defenders, 4 midfielders, and what we do is those 2 outside wings in the midfield, as part of that 4, they usually sit back. So it's almost like we are defending with 5, okay, traditionally. We have our striker up top, which will be Fallon Bolonga, and we will have our attacking wings, Serginho Dest on one side, Pulisic on the other, and then our 2 center midfielders, likely McKinney and Tyler Adams, okay? We are a high-pressing team. That means, think of it like basketball, right? Like teams that like to press, that's us. When the other team has the ball, we want to win it back. Our team is about work rate. We are about activity. We are about forcing turnovers and creating quick transitions from defense to offense. We try and take advantage of our athleticism rather than being a possession-based team or a counter-attacking team. We are more of a pressing team. We still don't have that dominant striker. We have 4 guys that we're going to probably rotate up top, but we just don't have that dominant number 9. Our defense, unfortunately, as we have gotten more skilled and talented as a national team in the midfield and in the attack, our defense isn't as good. Okay, traditionally in the 90s and early 2000s, that's what we were known for, is being a bunker down, lockdown, physical, tough to break down defense. That is not the case really anymore. We are way less solid in the back. Our defense pushes up into the attack, and we have only tossed 4 shutouts in our last 19 matches. So we are going to give up some goals. We're just going to have to be able to create some as well, and historically, especially in the World Cup, that's been a real big problem for us. All right, now we're going to look at the form of the U.S. men's national team coming into this World Cup. Let's go back to 2024, where we flamed out in Copa America. We became the first host team ever to fail to make it out of the group stage of Copa America. Now, we could deep dive this a little bit and talk about how we got screwed over by the officiating in our last 2 matches, which I'm not going to go into it, but go ahead and go back and look it up. It was kind of a joke. Okay, but regardless, we did not make it out of the group in Copa America in 24. That was a big failure for our team. We did make up for it a little bit in the 2025 Gold Cup, where we made the final. We did lose to Mexico in that final. But since Pochettino has taken over, he has a record of 13 wins, 2 draws, and 7 losses. Now, that being said, doesn't sound like a great record, but we are 9-1-4 since June 15th of 2025. That's the start of the Gold Cup. And our 4 losses have come against Mexico in that final, South Korea, which was in our first match after the Gold Cup, so a little bit of a letdown situation, and then Belgium and Portugal back in March. We'll get to that again in a second. Now, this past fall, basically a heavily rotated side. We did not have most of our star players. We hammered Uruguay. Like the A team for Uruguay hammered them 5-1. Also, interestingly, last fall we beat Paraguay, a team that is in our group now, 2-1. And we also beat Australia, another team that's in our group, 2-1. So we have faced teams in our groups within the last 12 months in international friendlies. Just last June, we also faced Turkey in a friendly where we lost 2-1. So we have played all 3 of the teams that we're going to face in our group within the last 12 months. You don't see that very often in the World Cup. Is that going to be an advantage? Is that going to be a hindrance? Most recently, and as I record this on May 29th, we are setting up for a friendly with Senegal on Sunday, but our most recent men's national team action came back in March, and it did not go well. We got embarrassed 5-2 by Belgium in Atlanta, and then turned around and had a misleading but still kind of bad loss, a 2-0 loss to Portugal, playing without Cristiano Ronaldo. I was at that match here in Atlanta, and I can tell you definitively that the United States outplayed Portugal in the first half. We were the better side. We just couldn't put the ball in the net. Created more chances, looked better and more confident on the ball. We were better than Portugal for the first 45 minutes. We were absolutely not better than them in the second 45. They made some adjustments. We did not. Our lack of depth ran into their abundance of depth, and we lost 2-0. Okay, so lost to Belgium, lost to Portugal, didn't play well in March. Let's see if we can do better in the lead up to this World Cup. All right, let's take a look at the U.S. World Cup history and trends. We missed the 2018 World Cup. That was a huge embarrassment, okay? However, we have made 6 of the last 7 World Cups since we hosted in 1994. Now, in 1998, that was the debacle World Cup, all right? The first World Cup after we hosted, we went 0-3 and we were a mess. But even if we kick out that 0-3 and say that that was kind of an outlier, we still haven't been very good on the World Cup stage, frankly. We are 5 wins, 7 draws, 8 losses in the last 5 World Cups. We have been outscored 22-28. That means in 20 games, there have been a total of 50 goals scored in U.S. World Cup games, leaning towards the under this year. We have not scored more goals than we've allowed in any of our last 6 World Cups. In 2 of the World Cups, we scored exactly the same amount, but we have either been outscored or had a a 0 goal differential in our last 6 World Cups. The U.S. team has reached 11 World Cups total, with the 1930 semifinal still the official peak. All right, now let's take a look at some injuries, off-field issues, and just general karmic situation of the U.S. men's national team coming into the 2026 World Cup. First of all, I want to say big mistake with the U.S. men's national team roster. They took Gio Reyna over Diego Luna. I have a problem with that. I think that was a massive, massive mistake. There is no way that Diego Luna should not be one of the 26 players on the men's national team. And Gio Reyna, again, you can go back and read up on what happened with him and his family in the 2022 World Cup. I'm not going to go full into that. I could do 20 minutes on just that alone. You can go do your own research. But Gio Reyna is one of the most overrated players in U.S. soccer history. He is not good. He has not been good in the Bundesliga. He has never done jack for the men's national team. I do not think that he is one of our 26 best players, and I absolutely do not think that he should have made it over Luna, who is one of the best players for the U.S. team, both last year in the Gold Cup and throughout qualifying. All right? We still don't know who our goalie is. That's going to be a problem. Okay, whoever he goes with, I don't think Turner or Freeze, neither one of them is a bad option. They are both top quality. But if you go with Freeze and he gives up a couple goals in that in our first match, then everyone's going to be like, oh, he should have gone with Turner, and vice versa. Okay, it's kind of like the thing in the NFL. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. I really feel like he should have committed to a goalie much, much earlier. Next, also the officiating is going to be against us. Going back to the 2002 World Cup, a friend of mine had made a joke once that the World Cup is the world's chance to show the United States how much it hates us every 4 years. And if we go by the officiating in some of these World Cups, I kind of agree with that. This isn't conspiracy theory stuff. Like, again, we are always going to be on the wrong end of the whistle when it comes to the football pitch. Next, the U.S. has a lot of pressure going into this World Cup. I'll be completely honest with you. There's heightened expectations because we are the host, because we have this new manager. The fan base is excited. And if things don't go well early, then that pressure could crush this group. We talk about a golden generation. That's a lot to live up to. Okay. Also, and again, I'm not going to go too much into this, but I just don't feel like there's been really good karma and really like positivity around the world towards our hosting the World Cup and some of the situations with people boycotting, not wanting to come. I just wonder what the vibe is going to be when the games actually start and how that spills over onto the field. You look at a team like Mexico, they play all 3 of their games in their home country. They're going to get a huge boost. Okay, we know that. Their fans are nuts. Can't wait. They're going to get after it. Same thing with Canada. They play all 3 of their matches on home soil. They are going to get a bump from being the host, which historically we have seen. Is the United States going to benefit from that same type of bump? I'm not sure. All right. Next, the 2026 U.S. Men's National Team World Cup schedule is as follows. We open on the World Cup's second day, June 12th versus Paraguay. We are playing that match in Los Angeles at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Our second match is June 19th versus Australia, playing in Seattle at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, so noon local. And then our final match is June 25th versus Turkey, back in Los Angeles at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So we're on the West Coast for all three of our matches. That's good. I think that's a benefit. As great as it would be to have played one game on the East Coast, one game in the center of the country, and then one game on the West Coast, I think it's great that we decided to limit the amount of travel that these guys would have to deal with in such a short time. Now, looking at the schedule, the game against Paraguay is massive, okay? They're ranked 40th in the world. They play a very ugly, grimy, grind it down, physical, punch you in the mouth. This is going to be a 0-0, 1-0 type of game, and we have to be ready for that. We have to be ready for their physicality. We have to be ready for their defensive posture. We have to be ready for what will be a grimy, grinding game. We need to at least pull a draw in that. 3 points would be massive. The second match against Australia, we are much better than this Australian side. But if you go back and look throughout history, Australia always seems to beat somebody that they shouldn't, right? Like, this team is scrappy, and they're definitely not going to be scared of us. And then our final game, we need a win in one of those first two matches, and we need 4 points out of those two matches because Turkey is the second best team in this group. And we want to be able to go into this third match needing only a draw to go through or being already guaranteed to qualify. We don't want to be put in a situation like we were in the Copa America 2024, where our third match was against the most difficult team in our group, Uruguay. We needed a result out of that. We needed to win that match to advance, and we couldn't do it. Okay, we want to avoid that type of pressure for this team. So all in all, a very manageable schedule. Now it's time to just go out and get it done. So finally, let's make some predictions for the U.S. men's national team at the 2026 World Cup. Look, let me preface all of this by saying I'm an analyst, okay? I'm not a fanboy who's sitting here telling you that, yeah, absolutely, we're going to make a run. We're going to go win the World Cup on home soil. I'm not on that side of the fence. I'm also not just shit posting and stuff like that. I'm not like Alexi Lawless where I'm just going to trash the men's national team because it's good for views and impressions and kind of build my brand around trashing the U.S. men's national team like a guy like Lawless does, okay? I'm just going to be completely honest with you. I don't have a great feeling about this World Cup. I hope I'm wrong. We have talked about this team as a golden generation. And if you look at what our top players have been able to do on the international stage at the club level, yeah, this is the best men's soccer group that we've ever had playing overseas. It has not translated into success for the men's national team. We missed the 2018 World Cup. We were unimpressive in 2022, getting blown out and looking very much third tier in the knockout stage when we lost to the Netherlands. We didn't have to go through qualifying, but we haven't really been that impressive on the international stage in the lead up to this World Cup. So not great vibes. So this may be a golden generation, but you got to go out and do something with it. You got to make a run. And I just don't know. There's a lot of pitfalls in this group. Like I said, that Paraguay match is going to be a rock fight. If we lose that, or even if we take a draw, there's going to be a lot of pressure going into that Australia match. And that's a landmine game. That is a dangerous team. We are much better than Australia. But are we playing free? Are we playing loose? Are we playing confident? Do we have our goalie issue figured out by then? There's the whole Luna Reina thing that's kind of simmering below the surface. Like, are we going to be able to get 4 points out of those two matches and put ourselves in a position where maybe just a draw against Turkey gets us through? That's a very good Turkish side. Even if we do make it out of the group stage, again, I'm just not predicting some kind of deep run in the knockouts. I just haven't seen enough from this group. I haven't been super impressed with our new manager. I think it'll take time. If you give Pochettino another World Cup cycle with this group, then maybe. by 2030, we will be ready to compete, make a run to the quarterfinals, make a run to the semifinals, something like that. But I just don't have that vibe about this team. So I think it's going to be a disappointing World Cup relative to what the national expectations are. So I'm not trying to be a downer. I'm going to be rooting like hell for the United States. That's for sure. But my objective viewpoint is that it's not going to go as well as people are hoping it will. And at the end of this World Cup, I think there's going to be a lot of people talking about, is this group of players overrated? So, all right, that is my take. That is my preview of the United States men's national team heading into the 2026 World Cup. Remember, if you're looking for winning World Cup picks, go over to Doc Sports, get yourself signed up, use the promo code WCWinners26, and get signed up for my World Cup package as I try to make it 5 straight profitable World Cups. Until next time, Carpe Diem, good luck, and go USA.